if you had to delineate where, say, you and President Trump differ on issues, where would you start?
Well, first, let's say in reference to Whoopi, the thought of me getting into the race makes the liberals' heads explode.
I don't know if I identify as a liberal, but she definitely is thinking of people like me when she says that. And let me just reassure you, Nikki, my head is fully contiguous still. I'm perfectly fine with you running for president. I don't think a lot of people are really all that worried about it. But you'll notice there that in addition to that ridiculous attempt at red meat for the right-wing base, she didn't answer the question, which was pretty simple. What is different between you and Trump, the person who you are challenging for this nomination? I noticed that she didn't answer the question. Sean Hannity noticed that she didn't answer the question. And because he's not scared of Nikki Haley, he felt freed up to ask a follow-up, the rare follow-up on his show. So here is his second attempt to get her to define at least one difference between her and Trump.
Where do you see, if you see, policy differences beyond what you mentioned, which are generational differences? What specific policy areas would you say part with Donald Trump?
What I am saying is I don't kick sideways. I'm kicking forward. Joe Biden is the president. He's the one I'm running against. I'm not going to kick sideways. I don't have time for that. That's not my focus. I'm kicking forward. It's all about Joe Biden.
Okay. Anna, what did you make of that?
Oh, man, I have a lot to say. First, in regard to her made up narrative about liberal heads exploding. Look, that should be very instructive for the left in general. I'm not just talking about liberals. I'm talking about anyone who's even remotely on the left who does not want nefarious figures to win these races. What tends to be red meat for their supporters, or for some who might be persuaded to support them, is the idea that the libs are trying to censor people. The libs are so, owning the libs is their whole brand, and it's a selling point for some voters. So the reason why I bring that up is don't let them get under your skin so much, right? Mock them, debunk their ridiculous policy proposals, make sure that the American public is as informed as possible about how disastrous those policies would be for the American people. But don't let them ever see you, I'm so delicate about this. I'm so sensitive about it. Don't do that to them, because they win on that branding. Okay, so that's point number one. Point number two, in my opinion, is she's done. She's absolutely done. Look at her face as Sean Hannity is quite frankly asking her a question that he should ask of every candidate for any seat. But of course he doesn't. He decides to challenge her because he's essentially communicating to her, listen, you need to know your role. There are no differences between you and Trump, so don't challenge him in the primaries, okay? How about you sit down, little woman? That's what he's saying to her.
Well, and look, she's gonna get stuff like that. She could be strong and prove him wrong.
True.
She doesn't do that. That's surrender right there. If you can't, that's the easiest possible question. What's different between you and this other candidate? I'm not gonna get into that game. I don't kick sideways, I kick forward. You better start kicking in a lot of directions, because there's a lot of people gonna run against you, and they're all way more vicious than you. Also, I'm running against Joe Biden. First of all, you literally are not. You are not running against Joe Biden yet. You might eventually. I'm speaking hypothetically. You're not gonna be the nominee. Right now, you're running against the Republicans, and your refusal to answer questions is not going to endear you to the base. When she says especially, I don't have time for that. The first race is in 10 months. What do you mean you don't have time for that? You have time for a lot of stuff. This is a long haul. This is a marathon. You can insult all sorts of different people in that time. So no, this is a worse version of what Ron DeSantis is doing, that supposed high road. But in this case, it's so defensive. Before she even decided to run, she apparently called up Trump to ask him what he thought about it. And now she multiple times refuses to say what the differences are between her and Donald Trump. And by the way, maybe you're thinking you guys are exaggerating. It's one interview with Sean Hannity or whatever. No, it's very much not. She was on with NBC's Craig Melvin, And she said there that she would not focus on talking about Trump. I don't kick sideways, I kick forward. Joe Biden has not led. First of all, you're not leading, you're hiding. Anchor Erica Hill said, get used to that. I have heard I don't kick sideways, I kick forward 4 times in the last 18 hours. She will not answer substantive questions about why anyone should support her over Trump. And when he has like 12 times the support in polls, you cannot just hide in the shadows. How are you possibly gonna win like that?
I mean, in order to run against Biden, you gotta find some time to run against the other Republicans during the Republican primaries. I mean, she knows this. But this is, the word weak is so perfect in describing her whole demeanor and her strategy. First of all, I would love to have been in the focus group that did the A/B testing on things like I don't kick sideways, I kick forward. Because obviously that was tested, and somehow there was a focus group in this country that was like, no, it sounds pretty good, pretty good. I'm into it. Not good, not good, because Trump is gonna punch you. And if you don't find a way to effectively punch back, you're done. And based on how she conducted herself in that interview, she's done. She just is. So if you're not gonna fight, if you're not actually going to run, then why are you wasting all of our time? Look, on the main show, on the Young Turks main show, we didn't even cover her announcement that she's running. Because, I mean, why waste precious real estate on that story when there's so much else going on in the world? She's not gonna be the Republican nominee. Once I see any indication that she's actually serious about it, maybe we'll give her a little bit of coverage. But
look, I feel like, I want to give a chance. She's a former governor, she's a prominent politician. She has been called a reasonable older school Republican, which is different than these crazies, but I don't know, a few days in, it's not looking great.